Hey guys, welcome back. Lesson 58. We're inching closer and closer to the 60. Okay. Only two more to go after today, and we're 60 out of 120. Halfway done. What a great feeling. Okay. Well, let's talk about probability. The definition of probability is like what fraction, what's the likelihood something's going to happen? And a lot of times you can do this with an exact, there's an exact possibility. Like if you flip a coin, if it's a regular normal coin, it's like 50-50 whether you're going to, come up with the heads. In other words, what they would say is, okay, the probability would be 1/2 that you would flip the coin and it would land on the heads, assuming it's a normal coin. It's always a fraction probability, and the most it can be is like 100%, because if you have a coin with two heads, what's the probability of getting one head if you flip it? Well, the possibilities with heads are 2, right? Because there's 2 on each side, or 1 on each side, and the probability is going to be over 2. Well, that's going to be 100%, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's 100%. The odds, like normal with a normal coin, there's only 1 head on a coin, but there are 2 possibilities. So that's what probability is. It's a fraction. The least, of course, it can be is 0, and the most it can be is 1 is the fraction, or in other words, 100%. So a spinner, let's take a look at a spinner. You see these sometimes when you're playing, I'm trying to think of some of those really sophisticated games that homeschoolers play. Chutes and ladders. Okay. There's an example of a spinner, all right? So somebody might say, what's the probability of, landing on B if you spin the spinner? Well, unless the spinner is stuck or there's something wrong with it, you can tell that the B is only 1/4 of the entire spinner. So you would just say 1/4. And if somebody were to say, what is the probability of you spinning either a B or a C? You could look at that and go, oh, well, that's 1/4 for the B, a 1/4 for the C. Well, together that's 2/4 or 1/2. Yeah, the probability is 1 out of 2 that you're going to spin a B or a C. So that's it. That's all there is to these. So let's do a couple. Fred spins the spinner, shown 28 times. You know why? Because Fred has no social life whatsoever. Fred sits there and spins, and he's a homeschooler. So somebody goes, "Hey, Fred, how you doing?" He's like, "Mom, somebody's speaking to me." "Here, honey, go play with your goats. Go look at the corner. Go outside. Sprinkle peppermint oil into your eyeballs." Right. About how many times can he expect the spinner to land in sector A, B, and C? Okay, well, let's talk about this. So Fred spins the spinner 28 times. About how many times can he expect it to land in sector A? Well, A is half of this thing, right? So about probably half of 28, which is 14. Now, that's no guarantee, of course, that he's going to actually spin 28 times. Look, exactly 14, because it's random, right? It could be less, or it could be more. He could spin, it lands in 28 times in a row. Then he can go outside and tell his goat friends. Okay. How many times can he expect to land in sector B? Well, B is about a quarter. A quarter of 28 is 7. The same thing for C, right? If you were to spin this thing 28 times, I'm curious if you have a spinner like this to see what would happen. It would probably be somewhat close to 14, 7, and 7, but who knows? It could be something way different. Or another one. In Miami, the chance that it will rain on a typical day in September is 60%. Find the probability that it will rain on such a day. Well, let's stop right there. The 60%, we said that all probability are fractions, right? Well, 60% just means 60 out of 100, right? And you can reduce that fraction to 6 out of 10. And of course, you can reduce this again to 3 out of 5, right? Both of this by 2. What's the probability that it will not rain? Well, that's going to be 40 out of 100, right? And you can keep going, 4 out of 10 and 2 out of 5 and so on. Or you could just look at this 3 out of 5 and go, well, 5 divided by 5 is 1. I mentioned the fact that all fractions are division. Okay. If 5 over 5, subtract 3 over 5 is going to be 2 over 5. And there you go. That's all there's to it. Okay. A number cube, or a die, the plural of die is dice, is rolled. Find the probability, excuse me, the upturned number is greater than 4. Well, if you're looking at a die, there it is, something like that or whatever, hey, there's a 5 and I don't know, there's a 1 and there's a 2. That was easier to draw those. Okay. Well, the probability that the upturned number is greater than 4, there's only 2 chances, right? It has to be a 5 or it has to be a 6, right? Those are the only 2 ones that are greater than 4. So there's one of those and then there's another of those, and the total number of numbers that you can roll on one die are 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is 1 and there's another one. So it's going to be 2 out of 6 chances, or make sure you reduce that fraction. The probability of the upturned number is going to be, in other words, if you roll a die that's, it's a fair die, and people do cheat with these things. They weight them certain ways. Don't do that. Okay. You roll it, boom. What's the chances of getting a 5 or a 6? Well, there's only 5 and a 6. That's 2 chances. Out of the total number is 6, so 2 out of 6, 1/3. There you go. Okay. A bag contains 5 red marbles, 4 yellow marbles, 2 green marbles, 1 orange marble, and a dead mouse. Without looking, Anne draws a marble. Hey, ooh, this one's squishy. Ooh, it's kind of cold. Ooh, it has teeth. Ooh, it feels kind of slimy and ooh, it feels wet. Oh. Isn't math fun? Okay. Yeah, for the purposes of this, I guess we'll forget the dead mouse. All right. So we got 5 reds, red, 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 4 yellows, 2 greens, 1 orange. Okay, there we go. Anne draws a marble and notes its color. What's the probability that the marble drawn is red? Well, it's always a fraction, right? The number of ones that actually work is what you put on top of the actual fraction. The total possibilities is what you put in the denominator. So the number that's right is red, right? So there are 5 reds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what goes on top. The total number, so 5 plus 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. So the chances of Anne drawing a red marble are 5 out of 12. And that's it, all right? What's the probability she'll draw a primary color? What in the world, primary color? What is it, science? Psychology? Neurology? Rocket? What's going on here? Okay, I guess primary colors, they mean red, green, and blue. I think. Primary color? I don't know. Isn't primary colors red, green, or blue? I don't know. Anyway. Well, let's just say we're asking what's the chances she'll draw a red or a yellow. Let's just do that. Well, we already know that there are 12 marbles total, right? Red plus yellow, there's going to be 9 of them. So we'll reduce the fraction to 3/4, and we'll go, okay, well, the chances of Anne drawing either, picking out a red, excluding the red, the mouse. A red or a yellow is 9 out of 12 because there's only 3 other marbles in there. There you go, 3/4 of a chance. Okay. All right, try the practice problems. They are on page 311, and there's about 86 of them. So anyway, pause it and try A. Okay, well, that's 0.4, right? That's the probability, 0.4. That's the decimal, and the fraction is 40 over 100 reduced to 2/5. Okay, pause it and try B. Same thing, right? Just go the opposite. 0.6 and then 3 out of 5. There you go. Pause it and try C. Okay, well, what's the probability that it's going to be odd? Well, there's 1, and there's a 3, and there's a 5, right? Those are the 3 odd numbers, so that's 3 out of 6, right? Or 1/2 reduced, right? Okay, pause it and try D. Less than 6? Well, I mean, there's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's less than 6. So there's 5 possibilities out of 6 total, so 5 out of 6. There you go. All right, pause it and try E. Okay, red sector, it's a half, right? Look at it. It's taking up half of it. Boom. All right? Okay, pause it and try F. Okay, that was kind of tricky. Not land on white, right? Well, there's a third. That black part is a third of a half, right? So that's, 1/6 really is what that is. Then you add that to the part that's also not white. That's a half, right? The red part or the pink part. That would be 3 over 6. And that total is going to be 4 over 6 reduced to 2/3, just like F is. All right, pause it and try G. Roughly let's talk about this. Red would be about 15 out of 30, or half, right? White, well, let's do black first. Black would be 1/6 of 30. Well, 1/6 of 30 means, 30 divided by 6, or 5. White would be twice that much because it's one, it was a third there and another third. So 1/6 and another 6. So it's a third total. A third would be 10. So there we go. Okay, H, pause it and try H. Okay, I mean, you could do it 24 times. You could actually do this yourself. It's totally random. You could have rolled 24 6s in a row if you did. I don't play the lottery, but it's time to go buy a lottery ticket and get yourself your lucky person. Okay, all right. That is it for today. We only have 2 more lessons until lesson 60. So I'll see you guys next time.